Alright, in this video, I'm going to be solving one of the SAT practice question. And this particular question is more like a fill in the gap, question. Now, this question says, what is the positive solution to the given equation? So we have an equation like this. We have 55 over, so let me write it here, 55 over x plus 6 is equal to x. And in reality, basically, this x is the same thing as saying x over 1. So what we are doing is we are looking for the positive solution to this particular problem. So that implies that there is likely to be a negative solution and a positive solution. So what we do is cross multiply. So if we cross multiply, we are going to be having, so this one and this one will multiply each other. So we have x into bracket x plus 6 will now be equal to 55 times 1. So what we do is open the bracket using this x. So x times x will give us x squared. X times 6, that is what? Plus 6x, right, is equal to what? 55. Now, by looking at this, this is a quadratic equation, but it is not yet a complete quadratic equation until the whole of this equation is equal to 0. So we have to bring 55 in. Now, if 55 is coming in, this is positive 55, it will become negative. So it will be like x squared plus 6x minus 55 is equal to 0. So what we want to do now is to solve this quadratic equation. This is a quadratic equation. So we look at the coefficient of the first term. The coefficient of x squared here is 1. In reality, it is the same thing as saying 1x squared. All right. So, and we multiply by the last term. And the last term here is minus 55. So 1 times minus 55 will still give us minus 55. So let's close our eyes to the negative. We are looking for two terms such that when we add the two terms together, it will give us plus 6. And when we multiply the two terms together, it will give us minus 55. And the only way we can determine that is to use the factors of 55. So like I said, let's close our eyes to the negative. So let's look at the factors of 55. They include, the factors of 55 include 1. We can think of 11, we can think of 5, we can think of 55 itself, right? So any combination, any positive or negative combination of any of these numbers that will give us plus 6 is what we need to think about. So if we look at it, we can pick minus 5 and plus 11. These two are factors of 55 anyway. But if you add minus 5 and plus 11, it will give us plus 6. And minus 5 times 11 will give us minus 55. So this is basically the easiest way to know. So if we decompose it, we have what? So we can have minus 5 here. And we can have what? Plus 11 here. So with this understanding, what it implies is that we can replace 6s with minus 5 and plus 11. So if we take it up, we now have what? X squared minus 5x, right, plus 11x, right, minus what? 55 is equal to 0. So we are going to factor this term, we are going to factor this term. As long as we decompose it correctly here, the factor that will be inside the bracket here will repeat itself here. So if you look at between x squared and 5x, we can factor x out. Then we have x minus 5. Obviously, what we are going to be having here is still x minus 5, based on the fact that this is properly factored out, is equal to 0. So what are we going to be having outside here? That will be what? Plus 11. Right, 11 times x, 11x, 11 times minus 5, that's minus 55. Since there is a common term between on this side and on this side, we'll just pick one of them. So we pick the coefficient of the common term to make a factor. So this one will now be what? X plus 11. X plus 11 in the sense that the common factor here is x minus 5 and x minus 5 here. So we pick this x, this one. Then the other one is the common factor, we bring them together, x minus 5. then is equal to what? 0. So let me scroll up. So we now have what? X plus 11 is equal to 0, and x minus 5 is equal to 0. So if we make x the subject of formula, if 11 comes to this side, will become minus 11. So x will now be equal to minus 11, and what? X will now be equal to, if minus 5 comes here, it becomes plus. That's x is equal to 5. So if you don't put plus here, it is still 5. Any number without a sign is assumed to be positive. So this is x is equal to 5. Now let's go back to the question. The question says, what is the positive solution to the given equation? The positive solution in this case is x is equal to 5. So that is what we are going to be putting in this box. See you in the next video.